Welcome back. The Ambassador Suha Gindi, Minister of State for Immigration and Egyptians Expatriates Affairs, received Robert Jenrick, British Minister of State for Immigration, and of course his accompanying delegation, discussing some important files, of course, on top of which is the illegal immigration. Over the phone, we have Ambassador Naila Gabr, Chairman of the National Coordinating Committee for Combating and Preventing Illegal Immigration. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, let me ask about this important meeting. We are discussing one of the most important issues that we talked about a long time ago, talking about combating illegal immigration.
Yes, the issue is extremely important. All countries are speaking about this problem, either receiving country or source countries. So it was a great opportunity to have the visit of the minister coming from London to listen to us and hear from us about the Egyptian activities to combat illegal migration.
Right. To what extent, talking about, of course, the relations or the deeply rooted relations between both countries and how far they can work together in this respect?
Well, we have historical relation with Great Britain, but this time we are speaking about a new dossier, a new topic, which is, as I told you, the subject of interest of all countries all over the world. And the minister was keen to hear from us about our activities, our strategies, our legislation. I think you know that he visited the Minister of Interior, as you said, Ambassador Suha Gindi, Minister of State for Migration. He visited the Assistant Minister for Foreign Affairs, and he met with me as chairperson of the Interministerial Committee, and he was very much satisfied about what Egypt has done in this domain, and he praised the activities of Egypt, the serious activities of Egypt in that regard.
Talking about some incentives to be given to Egyptians who would like to travel, for example, or support them according to their needs or where they want to go, in addition to supporting Egyptians abroad as well, were part of these discussions?
Well, yes, because we spoke about the cooperation with Germany and with GIZ and opening the opportunity for training Egyptians, enabling them to travel to Germany, and we spoke about the possibility of replicating this with Britain. And yes, the minister was interested and he listened to us, and I think that once back he will be assessing this possibility.
If I'm talking about the role of the Ministry of Immigration when it comes to the new generation or the young people abroad living in different countries, tell us more about it.
Yes, the Ministry of State for Migration has a very important mandate to strengthen the links between Egypt and the diaspora abroad. And this is a very important role, and the minister is keen to continue the work done by her predecessor, and to work on bringing Egyptian to visit Egypt, to have conferences for the Egyptians living abroad, to their children, and to strengthen the links between them and Egypt and the country. And the important thing also to speak with them about the possibility of investing in Egypt and of buying properties in Egypt. All such things is a real important dossier tackled by the Ministry of Migration.
Right. Talking about the forum or the logo of the forum titled I Speak Arabic. Definitely, it's very, very interesting, and even the logo
Yes,
itself.
yes, yes. It
Tell
is
us more
extremely
about it.
important because this is one of the very efficient way of building bridges between Egypt and people living in the diaspora, is to speak the same language and to be aware of listening to songs in Arabic and to see movies and to speak normally when they are coming visiting the country.
Talking about Egyptians abroad and trying to reach the majority to understand the challenges they are facing or what do they really need from their homeland, in addition to attracting some of them for if they can more investments here, especially when it comes to currency in general in Egypt. Was this also discussed and more incentives to motivate them so that they can support during this critical period of time?
Well, the issue of the work of the Minister of Migration with the diaspora was tackled and it was expressed and highlighted in the communique of the ministry. Also, let me add something extremely important, which is also the starting point, is the relation with the Egyptian through the embassies. As a diplomat and a former ambassador, the role of embassies and Egyptian consulate abroad is extremely important. When the Egyptians, they need something, not just a visa, but when they need anything, they are coming to the embassy and to the consulate. So this is the starting point, and it is extremely important to highlight also this activity besides the activity of the Minister of Migration.
Talking about promoting more awareness again among youth who most of the time they are thinking that the only way is just to immigrate and move into the illegal immigration. And again, even though we have many efforts in this respect, still some of the youth believe that this is their only way to have better life.
Well, awareness raising campaigns, we as an interministerial committee, we launched several awareness raising campaigns. I'm visiting myself the governorate having the highest percentage of migration or exporting, if I may use this expression, illegal migration. And while visiting this governorates and the villages, I'm speaking with the young ones and their families, not just about the dangers of the illegal migration, what they can face. They can face death in the sea, but they can face also all forms of exploitation and trafficking when they arrive to the destination country. But the important thing is to show them the success stories and the possibilities of working and living in a decent way in their own country. As we all know, we have more than 9 million foreigners in Egypt, besides, of course, 500,000 of Sudanese arriving after the conflict in Sudan. So as we have all this large number of foreigners living in Egypt in a decent way, so I cannot see how Egyptian and why Egyptians are trying to go abroad instead of looking at the opportunities of working and of working in Egypt. For that reason, if I can open this dossier, my main role as interministerial committee is the awareness raising campaign and to speak with them about the opportunities of work in Egypt. I have even a unit in my committee working on this and putting it on our page.
Well, actually, Your Excellency, also you focused or highlighted something that's really very, very important. Just I can recall part of the speech, usually the President or President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi always talked about this, about the number of the immigrants coming here to Egypt, living in Egypt, and all facilities they are taking in Egypt, just as Egyptians, regardless of what kind of facilities. We are talking about medical, health insurance, we are talking about education, having projects, well, many, many things, of course. And regardless of all the economic challenges we are facing, yet we opened, Egypt is always a home to those who are seeking, let's say, safety or security due to the challenges they are facing in their countries.
Exactly. Historically speaking, Egypt has always been, all over years and centuries, a receiving country because our geographical situation, and because our tradition and the hospitality, the Egyptian hospitality. So this is not something new to the Egyptians and to Egypt. And we continue this tradition of receiving foreigners coming in Egypt, hosting them, in spite of all the difficulties, of course, economic difficulties you are facing. The Egyptian hospitality is well known and appreciated by the world.
Talking about the conferences held attracting more Egyptians abroad to attend, tell us more about it and how far Egyptians abroad are interested. Are the numbers of the attendees increased?
Well, yes, there is a very successful work done by the Ministry of Migration. I don't recall all the details, but I'm seeing in newspapers and in the media all such activities, and the activities are successful, and it is extremely important, as I told you, to bridge the links and to strengthen the links between the diaspora and between the country. And normally, everyone is keen to go back to his or her own country and to see what are the new developments in the country. For instance, to see the new museum, to see the new project, the new capital, and all such things are in the program of visiting for the Egyptian coming from the diaspora.
Well, talking about, we have seen actually many catastrophic accidents that took place all over the world, and even recently when it comes to those who are looking for illegal immigration. And the catastrophic part also is that we found children joining them, and I don't know how can they take such a risk having children with them to be allowed and
Yes.
moving into such a trip. I think this is something that really, you know.
Yes, the
course.
topic, without interrupting you, of unaccompanied minors is extremely important, and this is a topic I'm working on it, and I'm working on it with the cooperation of the Council for Childhood and Motherhood. And by the way, we are organizing a regional conference in Hurghada next week. We'll be hosting this regional conference, and we'll be receiving countries from Africa, from the African continent, to exchange expertise and to speak about ways and means to protect the children. And as you know, we have an article in our law 82 of year 2016 about how to bring back our unaccompanied minors and allowing the Council for Childhood and Motherhood to take a legal role on bringing them back. So this topic is extremely important on the basis of human rights, the right of the child, safety of our young ones. And it is a problem also known in many countries. For that reason, Egypt is working very seriously on it.
Right, Ambassador Naila Gabr, Chairman of the National Coordinating Committee for Combating and Preventing Illegal Immigration. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, with this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.